trying to fix some technical difficulties. There we go. Hey. Oh.
Okay. So.
Check. All right, let's do this really quick. We need to take off the audio on this really quick. Microphone off. Okay. All right, there we go. That's better. Now you can hear me. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the disaster of the stream today.
Hello.
This we're going to leave right here. So that goes with that. All right, let's get this all set up and ready to go. Hold on. Yo, what's up? Can you make it smaller? Yes, I can. Turn your phone sideways and you won't have an issue.
Where's it going? Yeah.
There. Is that better for you guys? Working. All right, cool. We should be good. I have audio here. I have audio on the stream.
I can set audio
I have audio on here.
I can set audio
All right, you guys got to go. I'm sorry. Take your jellies. Okay, bye.
Why do we have to go?
Because I don't have enough room to do everything here.
Okay, so I'll just be in the background watching.
If you guys want to, you can. But all right, can see the audio in YouTube chat as well. All right, awesome, cool, sounds good. All right, cool. All right. So anyway, welcome to the stream. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Phrozen Sonic Mighty 8K. Phrozen sent us this unit to test out, and they also sent us quite a few 8K bottles of resin. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 bottles of resin to print with today. So all righty. So without further ado, let's get our little intro rolling here, and I'll see you guys in a few. So YouTube, what's up? It's your resin 3D printing god. No, I'm just joking. It's Matt from Akuma Mod. So yes, today we have the Phrozen Sonic Mighty 8K that we are going to be unboxing here. And let's get this show on the road because we are already behind as it is. Will it only work with 8K or just preferred? So it will actually work with all resins, but 8K is preferred to get the best detailed results from your resin print. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this unboxed. In fact, let's get you guys set up over here on a different camera, and that way we can get a close-up of you. What is going on here? I can get this working today. Alrighty, let's get that set up, and that's not working. Of course it's not. Why would it work? Updates.
Maybe it needs a good balance.
There we go. Ah, there we go. That's a little bit better. Get this tuned down a little bit more. Yeah, sorry for the wobbly. Good Lord. All right, so let's get this all set up here and ready to rock and roll. Got my trusty knife and my head cut off for the video. All right, let's take this down so we can get this all set up. So this is a very, very large machine. Well, I would say it's a pretty good sized machine for what's out there on the market right now. So we're gonna try and get this out in one quick setup here. Sounds good. Hopefully you guys are all good on all the streams. Hi, Crystal. How's it going?
Hello.
Nothing beats the smell of new electronics. Exactly. Where's she going?
She's playing on his tablet.
All right, let's see if we can get this up and out of the box in one shot. Ooh, so risky. All right. All right. So there she is in all of her glory right there. Let's get this tuned down a little bit more. It does. Build volume. So I have to take a look and see exactly what the build volume is. Watch out, kiddos. You guys got to move because I got to get some room. Here. All right. If you're gonna play that, you gotta turn it down. All right. Build volume. Let me get to that in a second here. Say hi, little one. Say hi, Sammy. Wave to the camera right here.
I can't see you.
I know.
I can't see you.
No, that's the point.
That's the point?
Yes. Give me 1 second here. All right. So the printer itself right here has a build volume of 21.8 and 12.3 and 23.5. And that is centimeters, sorry. And that comes out to 28 microns or on our setup here. So that's actually a very, very high quality screen. It's going to be very high detail. You gotta move, honey. Definitely need to invest in a new table for sure, or a whole new setup. That would be ideal, but can't really do that with the entertainment center down here.
Yeah, we already moved that because of your stuff here.
All right, let's see how we can get this off here. Where our starting point is, if there is one. I don't know where the starting point is on this. Like we're just gonna have to cut it open and call it a day. Where I put my knife. All right, there's one cover off. At least almost, huh?
She's in your chair. Again.
Jamie, you gotta get down here. You gotta get out of this chair.
What did Daddy say? Get out of the chair. What did he say? Out of the chair.
Ugh. Wrap these things too good. Which is not necessarily a bad thing. Good Lord. Out for me, please. Thank you.
I didn't know where
This
that
is
fell.
very, very heavy, this machine. What are we opening? We are opening a Phrozen Sonic Mighty 8K. So this is the machine all in itself. We're going to go ahead and pop this top off. I'll move a little bit of plastic that we got on here. Put that down. Got some packing foam. Are we able to take this out? Maybe. We have our build plate. Look at that. That's some snazzy machining right there. Almost makes me not want to print on it. It's so nice looking. We have our box of parts. Let's see what that is in a second here. Some more packing foam. Watch out. Watch out, Doug. All right. We got a broken piece. It is the knob for the vat. But thankfully, it's just the top piece. So it's not the end of the world. We can always use some pliers and stuff to get the vat up and out of here. So let's, you got to get down, honey. You got to get down. All right. So now we're going to grab some pliers here because, you know, things are broken as usual. But again, no worries. We can always use some pliers for right now. And that's fine because I'm already talking to Frozen about some other stuff that I need to have shipped to me. So we're good. We'll get a new vat screw holder. I might even have an extra one here, but we'll have to see. So this is the vat size. It's pretty big size. It's all metal. We have our max fill line here. So very, very nice that it has all the information there. We have some nice peeling effect here. There you go. And then, yes, you guys may or may not see this on camera, but this is a camera. Yes, there's a camera right there. Sorry, I can't get it really any closer. I'm kind of at my rope's end with the USB. But yeah, that's essentially what it is a camera on here. All right.
It's that camera, Sam. The camera.
Yeah, pretty much is the same. It looks like a knockoff of a Logitech of some sort. So we'll have to see how well it is. I know it's got a protective film on it. We'll have to see if we can try and peel this off because I don't have any nails. You gotta get down, Sammy.
Okay.
All right, there we go. That's all off. Okay, so now we're all set up with that. Keep the pliers there, so we have to put our bats on. No, you can't right now. I'm doing some stuff. All right, so we're gonna open up the box and see what we got inside. So we have our after-sale service warranty. We have our manual for the Phrozen Sonic Mighty 8K. We also have our tool kits, which is the hex wrench for the Z calibration, resin vats. So basically it tells you what each one goes to. That's kind of nice. We have a big old power brick here, as we normally do. We have some sandpaper in case there's some weird adhesions with the build plate. Some gloves, can never have too many of that. We have 2 different power supplies. I'm not sure if yours will come with that or not. But essentially this has I believe this is a European power plug, and then our American one. We're not going to use these right now because I already have one set up here. We have our USB drive, and it looks like Bluetooth 802.11n. Now, one thing I'm kind of disappointed about is they did away with SanDisk USBs. Unless this is a USB SanDisk branded one, which I highly doubt. But it does feel a little bit nicer than the usual cheap Chinese ones that we get. But they do look like your standard one, which I'm a little disappointed about. But oh well. But yes, we do have a Bluetooth plug there. I'll have to figure out exactly what that is. Maybe that's Wi-Fi actually, not Bluetooth. So we'll have to take a look. We have our little strainer cup for resin. We have our Phrozen branded scraper, which is pretty nice. I just think these are a little bit thicker than normal. And then we also have our little plastic scraper, which I don't really need to use because I use my normal stuff. So, all right, let's see here. Also, it was nice meeting you at Murph. It was nice meeting you too. I was the one who ambushed you waiting in line for the taco truck. Oh, okay. Okay, I remember. I'm sorry. I'm terrible with names and terrible with faces, so my apologies. Don't make it seem like I'm trying to avoid you or anything, but it's just kind of how it was. So, what's up, baby?
I help you.
You did help me.
No.
Yes. All right. So let's get everything set up. All right, you guys gotta move out of the way because I'm gonna move that way. No, put him back. Put him back. Watch out. You gotta move, Sam. That way. You gotta get out of the way because I'm gonna move the chair.
This don't work.
All right. What is this?
It's orange pesto.
All right. We're gonna go ahead and plug this bad boy in and see if we blow it up or not. Is there a power switch on this? Yes, there is. So this does have Ethernets and does have a USB plug in the back. So we'll have to see what that is, but I'm guessing that's for Wi-Fi. We have our optical switch. So this is one of the new things that they have for their printer is this new LCD setup, which I'm really digging the look of it. So I'm curious to see how it is. Yeah, we'll just name it at that for right now. We'll select English. How to set up your printer for the first time. Let's go ahead and get our build plates. All right. Please follow these steps to conduct the LCD test, calibrate your Z axis, and perform the printing test. You guys got to go. Go.
She stole this one.
It's not mine. It's not mine. They're Creameggs.
Oh.
Go. You got to go. What did your mom ask you? All right. So let's go to next. Let's just check the LCD test. We're going to do a light up. If it'll let me. Printer will automatically test. Oh, it'll test it in 3 different modes. It's okay. I can read. So it's going to go solid first. Then it's going to go to a grid pattern. And then it'll go to a black. So this is a grid pattern. Now, I haven't seen a grid pattern. I was going to say pattern. Grid pattern on a resin 3D printer in a long time. And that was because they had nano DLP on this. Now, I don't believe this has nano DLP technology in it. I believe this is still a Shi2 board based printer. So, all right, Z-axis calibration. Please follow these steps to calibrate the Z. So we should probably get this out here and see if this is our paper for calibrating. No. So we have our 3mm. We're basically going to loosen all of the bolts, even though this is probably good out of factory. We're just going to do it for the heck of it, just to be on the safe side. All right. So now we're good and loosey-goosey. All right, Z-axis calibration we're going to do next. So it does say put some paper on there. Now, I have my trusty leveling paper that I've had here for other printers. I'm going to go ahead and use that because it's a little bit thicker. But 2 pieces of paper should be perfectly fine for you. You can even get away with 1. That's completely up to you. So, all right, we installed the build plate, we loosened the screws, and now it's going to level itself. So the great thing about resin printers, at least these ones that have the 4-point leveling system, unlike the Eluku Mars and the Saturn models and the older Anycubic models, those ones have a ball joint system. So they tend to come loose over time. I will tell you, out of all my printers, these are usually a one and done type setup. So basically, once you level it, you never have to level it again. And I'm pretty like manhandly with my build plates when I'm trying to remove prints at times. And I've never had one of these come unleveled on me before. Okay, definitely gonna get rid of that beat. Okay, so now it says tighten the screws on the Z-axis, calibration is complete. So we're going to go ahead and tighten this up a little bit. I do front right. We're going to do back right. Let's tighten this up a little bit. Okay, back left. And front right. Okay, so now we're going to do done. Z-axis is rising. We can remove our paper. And that's the great thing about Phrozen printers. They're pretty simple to do. What's up, Chris? How's it going? I hope everybody's still here with me. Oh, no, I'm sure you meet hundreds of people that day. I really did. I didn't even get in the door, and already Creality was messaging me like, "Oh my God, are you here yet?" I'm like, dude, I literally just rolled up. Like, I got to go to the bathroom first. I'm like, yeah, don't worry, we got all day. Okay. So, looking at this, it looks like they use a regular Z rod on here, but it's slightly different. So normally, I'm trying to like compare it to other Z rods here, because it's not a ball screw, which I'm surprised they didn't go with a ball screw considering how large this printer is. I mean, it's not the end of the world. They do have a dual linear rail access on it, so I mean that'll provide the stability it needs. but it definitely is a different lead screw than most of the other printers that I see that are, you know, don't have a ball screw on it. So I'm not sure what type that is, but you can definitely tell the threading is different on it. So all right, so it says print the XP Finder, print test with XP Finder. Please use aqua gray AK resin to conduct your print test. Now we can do AK resin, but I think I'll give you guys the choice of that. So we can do next and basically start that, or we can do other resins. We can do whatever we want. But what's really nice about this, and I believe it's included just like they did with the Phrozen Sonic Mini, is they included the XP test, which is a great test. I absolutely love that over any other calibration test. It's super fast, really easy to read, and it gets you pretty much tuned in, ready to go within probably a half hour of tuning it. So if you aren't using the Frozen Aqua Gray 8K resin, please scan the QR code and follow the tutorial to complete the test. Okay, so we're not going to do that. I'm not really too worried about it. Just as congratulations, you have just completed your first run. We hope you have a great printing experience. So here essentially is the entire setup. Now, this is completely different than what Frozen normally has. Frozen usually has a basic Shitu box setup, whereas this is much nicer of a print screen, which makes me think maybe they're not using Shitu boards in this anymore. So maybe we'll end up trying to open this up and verify if it's a Shitu board or not. I'm pretty sure it is, but who knows? Maybe Shitu is upping their game and making it look more like presentable. Because this is more like a dental printer looking setup. This is really nice. So I like this already. So we have error log, printer information. Resolution is 7680 by 4320. Basically Frozen 3D, info at Frozen, whatever it may be. Social media account, if you want to put it on there, Frozen's official website. If I'm not mistaken, you can change the startup screen on here too, but I'll have to talk with them. I thought I saw somebody do that. I could be wrong though. We can change our printer name, our standby time. The volume is 100%, so we can basically turn off that function. We're gonna turn that off completely, 100%, because I hate beeping. File check, format the local file, hardware testing. So we can actually test the hardware and everything. Can change the language. We can set up our network. So it does ask for a Wi-Fi USB. So this does have Wi-Fi capabilities on it. Let's go ahead and plug that in. Okay. So now it says searching for Wi-Fi. So that's kind of nice that it already found some networks. And then we also have our Ethernet. So we can do that. And then we can also keep it as a static IP, which is really cool that it does that. Because I know a lot of people, you know, they have to go in and change some settings with that on their actual like port forwarding or their router in order to gain access to the printer at full time, which is nice because it does have a camera on here, so you can watch from, you know, anywhere in the world that you want to. I mean, obviously, you're not going to set a print and, you know, take a journey to London, you know, me being in America, and, you know, check on a print when the print is probably going to last, you know, by the time you hit New York, it's probably done. So, but anyway, we have Z-axis control, VAT cleaning functions. That's essentially what we just did. We have our local file, our history, and then we can also search for files, which is pretty cool. So it's got a lot of nifty features on it right now. So great to see you on Twitch. Thank you. Quickest high quality AK model you have. Well, if somebody has a model that they would like to print, go ahead and send it to me. You can send it to my email address. That is AKUMAMAX84. That's Akuma Max 84 at gmail.com. And if you guys want to see something printed like that, I'll see if I can try and print it off if we have enough time. But essentially, we're going to try and start printing right away. And of course, now this is all dirty and it triggers me. All right, so for those wondering, yes, this does have the little like platform screws to hold on to, so you can put it down on the desk and not have to worry about destroying your nice little fat film here. So very, very nice to have. All right, let's go ahead and put this back on here. I'm gonna try and think. Let's see if the Sonic Mini has the same type of setup here. Let's see, shall we? Oh, it looks like it. I like it, buddy. Oh, it's short. Right there, though. No, I don't think it works. Oh, no, it does. Sweet. All right, cool. What's up, Tripod? How's it going, man? Oh no, I'm sure you meet 100 people that day. Oh, well, we already read that. So yeah, that's pretty much it for right now. You guys want me to set up a print? You guys want to see me? Excuse me. Jeez. You guys want to see me set up a print on this computer? We might have to throw on a new Shitu box because I'm sure this is going to need the newest version of Shitu box, which I do have, but I don't think it supports this printer yet. So let's see what we got on here. We have the Phrozen. So we could do the stress test, which is your standard. Let's see. We can do the Rook. That one is pretty simple. Let's go to view. Let's go to large. And there we go. Slicer software. So this does come with both Shitu box and Lychee preloaded onto it. So this comes with Shitu box 1.9.3 beta version 3. Let's see if I think I have 1.9.3 loaded on here, but let's just double check. See what we got. All right, let's go to settings. Let's go to add a printer, and let's see if this is even in here. Frozen. Oh, they do have it. All right, cool. So we don't even have to plug that in. It already has the Phrozen Sonic Mighty in here. All right, let's put you guys over here. Put this over here. Okay. There we go. I didn't see everybody else that was commenting because my thing wasn't set up. So my apologies for that. There we go. Okay. It's just a fun old day already. I think someone has an Amazon addiction. Absolutely not. Why would you think that? All right. Yes, I'm one of the few people that are a small business owner, and I do use Amazon for quite a lot. So, all right. Let's go ahead and check out our main monitor here. All right, so you guys can see your feedback here. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Okay. Just nothing is working today, huh? This is going to be one of them days. All right. So, like I said, this is just the contents of the SD card. We have the Frozen test. We also have the Frozen XP Finder. We have our user manual. Okay, that's just kind of standard stuff. Let's see what this says. Please read. Let's see here. It says, "Thank you for purchasing Frozen Sonic Mighty 8K. Use this USB file to install the slicer software, read the user manual, and conduct the test print." Okay. User manual. Okay, we're reading through it. We provide you with 4 separate printing files in this USB. They do. Frozen test and the XP Finder. Then we have the Frozen Test STL. Also, they give us pre-slice files and then the STLs if we are using different resins. When using this USB for 3D printing purposes, please only store .ctv files in the USB and make sure to save your current files on your computer. This helps speed up the file loading process on the printer. To learn more the modeling process, please join Frozen, and then all of their links. So if you guys want to join anything that has to do with Frozen, by all means. So, all right, since we're in here, let's go ahead. We already have everything set up. So if you guys are looking for build size volume, this is what we are working with. So we are working with a 218 by 123 by 235. Let me see if they have what would be comparable to this would be the new Elegoo Saturn II. So let's look at build size on this, which essentially is the exact same thing. Saturn is a slightly bigger machine, it looks like. But essentially, they are the same resolution, so they should be the same. So if you're looking for a slightly larger Z height, then the Saturn II. How much does the build plate compare? Well, here is the Frozen. So we're at 218, 123, and 235. Here's the M3, 298, 165, and 300. So a significant size difference between these two, as you can even see when I select the difference between them. So we have our, well, here's an M3, and then here's a Mighty. So you can see quite a difference. So it's basically like a Mighty 8K with a mini 8K build volume attached to it, and then that makes up for the photon. But you got to understand, the M3 Max is a 13.3-inch screen. The Frozen Sonic Mighty 8K is only a 10-inch screen. So there is quite a difference between those two. So I'm just letting you know. We are going to just use the Frozen 8K resin right now. And we're basically going to find something that I downloaded and see what we can print. I know I did some of these already. No, let's go. Oh, I don't think I have these all undone. What to do, what to do. Let's see which ones we do. Now, I'd like to do this, but I think there was a sizing issue, if I'm not mistaken, with his body. Because that would be cool to do Shao Kahn. I could do an Infinity Orb. That's kind of basic. We don't want something like that. We want something kind of detailed. Maybe Hollow Knight? No, not Hollow Knight. Let's do Moon Knight. I don't know if I unboxed that yet, or unzipped it. I think it's still in a zip. Ghost Rider, I think, is too crazy to do. Because that's 350 millimeters. Yeah, that's a big guy. Oh, let's see. Cosmic Ghost Rider. No, we don't want to do a bust. I don't want to do a bust. Excuse me. I did Captain Planet already. I did a Mandalorian. Maybe a Spawn print? Let's see. I think this is everything. So let's see how this goes. We'll just select everything and see what we're working with. See what we can do. If we could fit everything on here. Ooh, that's kind of... Yeah, no, that's not going to work. I have no idea what that is, but sure. That is a cube, PM3D cube. What is that? It's literally just a giant cube. Okay. That's kind of weird. That would look really cool to print for sure, but we're not going to be able to fit all of that. I want to try and do a full build plate if we possibly can. So let's go. So these are all mostly files that I've grabbed from Cults 3D. I kind of went on a buying spree. We already did Little Red Riding Hood. Flyer. What is that? I'm not sure what that is. We're good. Excuse me. I think we could get away with this one. Let's see how big this is. Dang. I'm trying to find something good, dang it. The problem is they're too big. Haku, I think I already did this print. Yes, I did. Nubis, I think this was just a basic print. Let's see what this looks like. Let's see if we can print this in multiple parts. Yeah, I think that one will do good, right? Print Anubis. That'll look really good because of all these little texturizing wire lines right there. Look at that. That is insane. I think that'll show off very nicely on the Phrozen Sonic Mighty. So we can go ahead and do that. All right. So let's do this in pieces. So that's support. Let's and this way you guys can see how I kind of do support structures too. All right. So essentially, we're going to do this one by one. You guys are going to see me on how I do things. So essentially, we're going to put this up because we need, so you got to think of resin as printing this way, right? So the reason why we do that and we don't print it flat with supports, because you need somewhere for the resin to kind of drip off or pool. You'd never ever want to let resin sit on the bottom here, because not only will you get pitting from the supports itself, you'll also get a lot of warping from the base and everything. So if you're ever not sure how something is going to look printing, just turn your build plate upside down and look that way. Looks kind of goofy, but trust me, it works wonders when you're playing with settings and stuff. So let's see how we want to. Okay, so this is a single part. That one's going to be kind of tricky to do. We might have to cut those feet. I'm not a big fan of having both of those there. So So here, we're going to, oh, I don't have the cut feature on this. This is free. Dang it. Right? I don't think I got the ability to cut on there. All right. So we're just going to have to deal with the feet being like that. I'm not a big fan, but all right. So we can probably get away with printing these flat, but since they're together, I want to have some sort of, excuse me, some sort of support on them. So we can try and move them where they're close to the build plate, but not like super off. So same thing for these. We want to have a little bit more curvature on it. And then essentially the same thing for these body pieces. My apologies for the coughing. I'm having a coughing fit today, and I don't know why. I'm dying here. All right, so let's go ahead and do that this way. So essentially, we're just kind of, putting them all at an angle at some point. I'll even move this little piece too once we get it all set up. But as you can see, there's kind of a rhyme to the reason there. You can see most of the parts are there to set to drip off of the build plate there and drip off very nicely. This one we're gonna actually tip this. This I'm not expecting this to print really very well, but we'll see how it goes. We may have to move this out of the way because of the supports here. All right. So essentially, we're going to select all, and we're going to do some cheater supports. All right, so now we have them all in the slicer ready to go, and we're basically going to put this at a 45-degree angle. So as you can see, it kind of pops up and shows you what these do, every single one. So the density is how many supports are going to be in there. So we have like 50% supports. The cross start height, that I always try and keep either usually very high, because I want to try and have them have more structure on it. So actually, we're going to start that at 3. The width is the more important. So that basically shows us how long they can go. And that's going to impact basically our strength for the structure. If you think of like scaffolding, that's probably the best way I could describe that is that's excuse me, the closer you go in, yes, you can have a lot more heavier support, but you can go further away and have less support and still maintain that same type of structure. But there is a limitation on that. So I think the furthest you can go is 9 millimeters. So we're basically going to use some medium supports on this. We could probably get away with light supports with some medium input. But I will say this, even though I am basically auto supporting this, I will tell you 100% of the time, every single time I do auto supports, you will see me go back in and you'll see exactly why. So case in point right here. I don't really think this is going to print like that. There's a very, very highly unlikely chance that it will, but I'm not going to take that chance. So there's one of two things I can do to remedy this. I can change my angle. I believe you change it up, and that'll add more supports on the top here, because we're basically just using the 45% supports here. So that kind of works for most of these guys. So let's go ahead and put this up to like 65, and let's see what it looks like when we do auto supports on it now. You should see a lot more supports, and if not, we'll have to go down. I forget which way it goes, up or down. Okay, so it's up. So that's a little bit overkill for that, but we could probably be okay with it. And again, at 65%, we'll probably, or yeah, 65. These are probably going to be pretty good, but again, we're going to just go in and double check everything. So this shield's pretty good. We can probably have like a couple here, just because these are like our contacting points. So you want to make sure that you have a little bit extra on the outers here, just to make sure we have some good contacts. Over here, the same thing. We're basically going to do some contacting. All right, that looks pretty good. So we're going to do one there, one here, one there, one there. And probably one right in the middle there. Jeez. So as you can see, we added a little bit more supporting on there just because. And bridging wise, it looks pretty good. We're basically going to do the same thing here. Going to add a little bit more bridging abilities. I think we'll be pretty good on that. For that part. Now this one, we're actually going to remove a couple supports because we don't really need those in here. And I don't know why this slicer does that, but basically going to delete a couple of those just to make our life a little bit easier on the support removal. We're just going to put a little more on like the main contact points. What's up, Matt? How's it going? Excuse me. I'm having a terrible, terrible coughing fit today. So as we can see, his hand is kind of supported a little bit, but not enough to where I am okay with it, at least. And the one things I always check are fingers, because those can fail very, very easily when you are printing them. So we always want to make sure that we are checking out our fingers, our feet, and everything, and making sure that everything is good enough for us to be okay with. So that's a bridge. I'm not going to take a chance on that. And the same thing goes for this piece. We can get back over. Come on. There we go. Okay. I think we're good on that. Then do a couple here and there. Yeah, I probably didn't need to put those ones on there, but it'll be alright. Not the end of the world. All right. I think we're good. I'm gonna do a couple small ones. Now this I could probably get away with light supports and be okay. So call it. Yeah, I think we're pretty good right there. Add a couple more in here just to be on the safe. Okay. And yes, you can try and get away with less supports, absolutely. But I'd rather waste more resin on supports than waste resin on a second print. Jesus. All right. So that's essentially how I kind of do resin supports for the most part. Obviously, you know, that's a little bit overkill with that shield, but we're just going to let it fly. Screw it. We can always sand it down if we need to. So that's pretty good. Our resin settings are probably at our standard aqua gray 8K. Okay, and yeah, we'll probably do some speed settings on this later on tonight, maybe tomorrow or later on in the week, depending on if we got time. And that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and slice this and see how it goes. $10 months later, hey, better. I mean, it could be worse. You can be waiting over a year for the Elegoo Jupiter. So, and have no idea when it's going to come because, you know, they keep pushing the date back. All right, so we're basically going to call this Anubis. And we're going to slice that as is. Jeez, I'm dying here. Hopefully my audio is okay. I'm not blowing your eardrums out. For those who are still on TikTok, if you rotate your phone to portrait or landscape mode, it'll probably be much better looking. That's close to actually. What on the outside edge here, right here? Is that what you're talking about? It is a little close, but it's all right. It didn't give me an error. Usually it'll give me an error saying that it's over. And even if so, it'll be fine. It's not the end of the world. So I always have that happen. Like the shredder print I did, that was over build plate, the entire thing. I squeezed so many parts into that thing. So it might be slightly over, but it'll work. Probably should have added some more supports on that. But excuse me, we'll see how it goes. I'm a little concerned now. All right, so this has 8 hours on stock settings. It's kind of a long time for printing. So let me switch you guys back over to the Logitech camera. And that way you guys can see what I'm doing. Oh, wow. I didn't even notice that. It's got a screensaver. It's kind of cool. It's like very Tron-like. That's very interesting. I think this table's seen better days. I've seen better days. All right. Where are these at? Let's grab these. Let's put on our glasses. Let's put on our gloves. They only gave us one pair. I guess something's better than nothing. Fine. Not the end of the world. Oh, I swear I'm getting another cold and I'm going to be real ticked off. Yeah, I swear somebody loaded on their own image. I'll have to talk with them tonight and let them know. But yeah, I think we can do that. So we're going to go ahead and just use some 8K Aqua Gray resin. Hold on, let me bust out the resin mixer 2.0 for you guys. All right, so here's our resin bottle. Here's our mixer. So we spun it that way. We'll spin it this way. All right. So what's nice about this is the way that I do that is there's going to be very little bubbles that happen on here. So that's the nice thing about mixing it that way. Pretty much no bubbles, except for the ones that I just created. So it looks like it takes about 1 kilogram of resin. All right, we're going to go to USB file. So we have our starter guide, our Anubis, and we're going to go ahead and hit print. And off she goes. All right. Now, I will say that one of my, I guess, pet peeves about this printer is this. It's a very, very large printer. And at this point, once you start reaching 10-inch screens, you need something that's a little more room efficient. Having a hood like this is not a good thing to have on printers anymore. They just become a nuisance, in my opinion. I like what Anycubic did with the M3 Max. It looks like it has a full pop-up top, but actually just the front cover comes off. So in actuality, you could put hinges on there and either make it a slide or a door, a hinge door, or you can make it a lift-up style door. So you could go one of two ways with that, which is really, really nice. I really wish that there was like some sort of door mechanism, something like that on here. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't modify this and make it your own, but just from factory, you know, things like this, in my opinion, they don't work ergonomically for most people because that takes up a lot of room to have a hood that size. So, all right. So we are good. We're rocking and rolling. Yeah, so pretty much the vat can take about 1 kilogram of resin. So that's pretty good for starting. So just for comparison, the Sonic Mega technically takes about 1 3/4 liters. So 1.75 liters of resin. This takes a liter or a kilogram, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, is that right? Yeah, so 1.75 kilograms is what the Mega takes. Technically, you could get away with 2 kilograms, and this takes 1. But I do absolutely love this LCD screen. This is really, really nice. I like this. So there is some features on here, and if I'm not mistaken, it has an auto-off feature. So for those who are trying to save a little bit more money and, you know, you set a print and you want to go to bed, and by the time you wake up, it'll be done. I believe that's what this button is. is work in progress, remaining 8 hours. Okay. So I'm not sure. Maybe that is. We'll have to look at the instructions here, but I swore this has an auto off. So you can change the parameters here right away, which is really, really nice. You could also change the retractant settings and everything. So that's nice to have. You have your pause and your stop button. But I believe this is a basically a timer, an off timer, if I'm not mistaken. So now to talk about the camera, that is still in um, like testing phases. So this is a pre-unit, as they call it, or a pre-production unit. So just to let you know, that's what's going on with it. But I will take a look at that and see if maybe we can get something going on that, and see how we access that, or if we even have that ability. I don't know if that's the case, but hey, we'll see. What printer is better than the Elegoo Mars 3 or the Anycubic Photon Mono 4K? So I'm not a big Elegoo person. All the Elegoo printers that I've had just they have not been very good, reliable printers. They're kind of like my Ender 3 for resin printing. But that's not to say, just like the Ender 3, thousands of people have them and they absolutely love them. The original Saturn has a lot of issues with it. Elegoo's QC seems to be going in the wrong direction right now. And as long as they get that under control, I think they'll be okay. But as of right now, they've just been kind of behind the times. Like Phrozen has been the leader in the industry for new technology and advancements since the introduction of the mono screen. They basically started it with the Phrozen Sonic Mini. They were the first one, and I was blown away because people are like, yeah, you can print in like half the time, and I'm like, there's no physical way that you can print that fast, and they're like, no, dude, because it's not an RGB screen, it's a black and white screen. You know, the colors don't have to go through as much, or there's no colors going through the screen. So they started with that, and then they released the Phrozen Sonic Mini 4K. And the 4K, they've had 4K printers for a little over a year and a half before anybody else had one. I think Longer was the next one to have a 4K, and then Elegoo had their 4K. And then, well, it was like Elegoo and Anycubic at the same time had a 4K. Then, after they announced their 4K, Phrozen was like, well, guess what? We're announcing our 8Ks. And they just decided to pull out all the stops and announce the Mega 8K, which is just insane. That printer is unmatched by anything in its price range for the build volume and everything. You know, what you get quality wise out of it. So it is a fantastic printer. The same thing can be said with their Sonic Mini 8K. It is a fantastic printer. I've had almost no failures on it that weren't of my own accord. And I kind of knew that that was going to happen. So, I mean, it is what it is. But, excuse me. It's been a great printer. It's got the newest technology in it, which is the same type of technology the Creality Hellet series printers have, which is the integral light source, which essentially is a light that is shined onto a mirror, and that mirror projects the most amazingly even array of light beam for LCD printing. Almost to the point where it's like DLP. It's that good. And so they kind of grabbed that technology and put it into their printers, and it's great. So if you're looking for the best tech, in my opinion, the Creality Hellet, yes, I said Creality, Hellet series, probably more specifically the Hellet Sky is a great printer. And like I said, the Phrozen Sonic Mini 8K is a great one. I don't know if this has the same technology source. I probably should have checked that out before I ran a print, but we'll take a look. Did I stop this? I think I did. I think that's what I did. Did I like mess with something? I think I did. Or is it just taking that long? Oh no, I'm just losing my mind. It's just that quiet. Anyway, yeah, so for this printer, it is a great printer, but like I said, one of my biggest pet peeve downfalls of this printer is this hood. Other than that, the build plate looks really, really nice. We'll have to see how the adhesion is on that, because the Photon M3 Max has something like that on its build plate. It's not as predominant as the Sonic Mighties, but it is insanely hard to get a print off of there. Even with my nice tools, you really need some elbow grease to remove a print. So I'm hoping that it's not the same thing on here, but I'm fearing the worst, which is not necessarily a bad thing. That just means that your failure rate will be less and less, at least on your first layers. So, excuse me. Jesus. What's up, Sith Lord Brit? How's it going? I have, I guess, leftover resin all over my printers. What can I do to remove it? 99% failures. I have got my Mono X6K because of you, man. Thanks for all you do. You're very welcome. So I don't really know too much about anything besides the Anycubic Photon M3 Max. But as far as I know, I had some rough printing with it when I started. And then, I don't know, I played around with some settings and I moved away from an Anycubic slicer back to Shitu Box, which, you know, that's my go-to slicer. And I've been doing pretty good. But as usual, just like the Mega 8K, both of my large machines are down right now, and that was because me playing around with speed settings and playing around with expired resin. So the problem with expired resin is it tends to delaminate very easily. So while a print may look very good, some parts might be delaminated, and guess what? When that part gets delaminated and you have a speed setting which crushes at a insane force, guess what? You damage some things. So right now the Mega has some stuff on the screen which cannot come off, some resin, and so it finally is kind of died. It still works, and I could probably still print on it. I just have to avoid that area. I have to talk with Phrozen about getting a new screen, which that's going to be quite expensive unless they're, you know, willing to send me one. We'll have to see. That would be awesome. And then essentially the Photon M3, it needs a FEP change, but I'm not going to change the FEP until I get a new screen protector on there, because thankfully that one did have a screen protector, so that one was okay. The Mega, I did speed settings before screen protectors were even a thing. In fact, I was one of the people who worked with Mach 5 to get a screen protector on there. So that's one of the reasons why. So, yeah. But essentially, we'll probably do the same thing here. We'll get a screen protector, and then I'll start doing some speed settings on it. But I'm going to try and lay off doing speed settings on printers, at least big printers, until I have a screen protector on it, because I'm not going to start wasting and destroying screens again just because of my want to get you guys faster printing speeds. But with that being said, going back to the Creality printers, I did just release the speed profile for the Creality Halette 1 Plus series printers. So you guys can go and check that out. We basically doubled the printing speed, so we cut the printing time in half. So I took a print that was essentially like 6 hours and 30 minutes and brought it down to 3 hours and like 40 minutes. So yeah, it was insane. So good times though. Let's see. I had no idea there was an expiration date on resin. Yeah, so it's usually about a year. I got a deal from everyone. They had a bunch of expired resin that they sent back to China, and they were trying to offload it for really, really cheap. I got 22 bottles for, maybe it was 20 bottles. It was 20 bottles for $33. So, I mean, I couldn't pass that up. Now, the problem is when you print with that type of resin, you really got to know what you're doing. Because it's not like, oh, I'm a brand new resin printer person. I need really cheap resin. I'm going to go with this deal. You're probably going to have a really bad day because they need to be mixed every single time that you print with them. So that's the downfall of expired resin is they tend to, like I said, delaminate from each other. So the mixture even does that as well. So you got to be very careful on your printing because that'll happen after every print. So literally every single print that I do, I go in and I mix it up and then I use it. But one thing I will say is I try and use it on my smaller machines because it's much easier to manage on a smaller machine than it is like even a machine this size. Like this is a fairly large printer, even on a medium-sized printer like a Saturn, is still kind of iffy. It might be a little bit manageable, but like I threw some in the M3 and I threw some in the Mega, and like I said, obviously I killed both of them in some way, shape, or form. But you know, nothing that we can't fix. I kind of knew it was coming. The Mega's been kind of on the edge for about 6 or 7 months now since I started speed setting, so I knew it was going to need a replacement at some point. And just finally, it just, yeah, it's at that point. But the M3 Max, I was not expecting that. But either way, this is nice because it shows you the print that you're printing, and then I believe it'll show you the layer that it's doing. Yeah. So it'll actually show you the layer. So it's got a nice little screensaver on it as well. I like this a lot. I ordered my Bullet brand screen protector, waiting for that first. Yes, definitely order that or Mach 5. Those are your 2 leaders. And to be in all honesty, I think I might be swinging more to a Bullet brand collaboration than I am Mach 5. And the only reason I say that is it looks like Bullet brand does a little bit more outside of what Mach 5 does. And I mean that like they provide a screen protector for this, not just for your LCD screen, your touch LCD screen, which is great because some of mine are very, very sticky from using resin and like trying to quick batch something and then taking something off and touching a little bit of resin and putting it on there and you go on and press it. You know, that happens a lot. So, so that's kind of nice that they have a screen protector for that to make your machine look new. But I mean, denatured alcohol or IPA will take that off, no problem. It's not the end of the world. It just would be nice to have that protector on there at all times, so you know you just have that extra layer protection. But I'll still work with Mach 5 and Bullet brand to try and produce screen protectors for everybody for these new machines once I get them and get them unboxed. So too bad there's not an equivalent of octane boost for it. Octane boost. I don't know what that is. What's up, Mr. German? Tactile 3D is in the house. Oh, so going back to Elegoo Mars 3 or 90 cubic mono 4K, in my opinion, the mono 4K is going to be a little bit better. Plus, on top of that, the mono 4K actually has a really, really good deal right now, and this is what I've been telling people for a good starter printer, because as far as I know, it's a great printer. A lot of people have it. A lot of people love it. Right now, Amazon has a wash and cure, a mono 4K, and a bottle of resin for $386 shipped to your door. And I mean, that is an amazing deal to get you into resin printing. And sure, it's a small machine, but the level of detail that that thing produces compared to a $386 FDM printer is insane. Now, granted, with the $386 FDM printer, you do get the build volume. So there is that. However, if you are okay with doing resin welding, you can probably print those same amount of build plates prints as your FDM in your resin in probably half the time, and glue them all together, sand them down, and paint them probably by the time you start sanding your FDM print. Just saying. So it's much, much faster. Now, like I said, this print is 8 hours, but this is on Phrozen stock settings. So if anybody knows anything about Phrozen, they have very, very conservative settings for their resin printers. And I mean insanely conservative. They are so slow on their settings, but they produce insane quality prints. So that's fine. I personally would just like to see what the capabilities of the machine can do. So again, I will probably end up doing a speed setting for this. And I can guarantee if I just plug in some numbers right now and match them with like the M3 and the Mega, I can probably cut that print time down in at least half. So, and it looks like the print time is pretty close. Usually it's off quite a bit. So, but this time it looks pretty good. There's so many people messaging me right now. And of course, I got a cold again. It's like a never-ending disaster with me. It just started yesterday. I love my Phrozen Mighty 4K. What you gave me. Thanks. You are very welcome, sir. I hope that printer serves you well. I know you've had some, issues printing with it, but hey, everybody does, whether it be FDM or resin. But again, I'm always here to try and help you out if you ever need anything. And that pretty much goes the same for anybody, regardless of what it is. Even though I'm more on the resin side, I do still dabble here and there with FDM. I still know quite a bit about FDM, maybe not like the firmware side or like machine settings. But if you ask me, I'll try and dive into some information. I will say that's one of my, I guess, highlights is I am a information hog. So when I need to know about information about something, I dig insanely deep for information, way beyond what most people do. And that's kind of like how I know this company makes that printer and so on and so forth, because I do a little bit more deeper research than what most people would need to go into. And that's perfectly fine. You don't have to go that deep. It's just the way that my mind works. Like I have to know all the little pieces of information. It's crazy how the mind works. So, but yeah, I think that's pretty much it, guys. I'm going to be hopping off here in a couple minutes. We've been live for an hour and 49 minutes. So we'll probably hop off here at about 2 hours. That's usually about what our stream is. Let me put you guys back up on the big screen here and put you on the regular camera so you guys can kind of see my lovely face. And yeah, there we go. Now you guys can't see the printer. But yeah, I mean, not too bad. Like I said, we had some issue with the VAT knob being broken. It's not the end of the world. We can always go out and buy one if we need to, or steal one from the various machines that I have. I thought I had an extra one, but I think I got rid of that. It was for the Phrozen Sonic Mighty 4K, but I think that's gone. So either way, it's been 1 week since you looked at me. Anyway, yeah, it's been it's not too bad. Like I said, my biggest pet peeve is this hood. And then the other thing I'm wondering why they went away with it. Frozen's usually pretty good about providing quality parts. And one of the main things that they've always provided quality wise is their USB drives. They've been a step above everybody else for the entire time. And this time they changed from their typical SanDisk ones to like the cheap ones that you get with like the Anycubic or the Elegoo printers. Like, I don't know what's up with that. Well, let me rephrase that. I do know what's up with that. I don't think I can talk about it though. And I'm kind of disappointed about the whole thing, but I understand why. And it's unfortunate. And I will tell you that is one of the reasons why Elegoo finally was able to catch up to the 8K, because otherwise they probably would still be stuck at 6K. And that is because of this company and whatever happened. So we'll just leave it at that. But anyway, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. That's really the gist of the machine. I will say that the machine is quite heavy. It's probably comparable to my Hellet Sky, which is that's a hefty machine. This is an all metal base. It's not like cheap plastic. Like comparing it to the original Mighty 4K, that is completely different. So now that I'm saying that, I just remembered that was one of the prints that I wanted to do, because originally I had printed an Akuma model on the Mighty 4K. It was my first large model, and I actually still have them. And Doses 3D actually designed a new version of him, not off of this model, but essentially it's his own model. And what I want about it is it has the kanji symbol, which you guys all know. You know, that's my favorite thing out of anything is that kanji symbol. Yes, I did paint this guy. Not too bad for my first time painting ever. It's pretty good. But yeah, I'm going to maybe after this print, I'll throw on the new Akuma and we'll get that guy printed. I know we're not going to be able to print them all in one shot, because I even tried to cram them on the M3 Max build plate, and that was like trying to squeeze everything in. And even then, I realized that I was missing like 4 other different files that were like the base and everything. And I was like, oh God, I'm not even close to finishing this guy. But I was able to at least print his body. But at that time, we were having some issues with the Anycubic slicer, and me working in Shitubox and exporting that file to the Anycubic slicer, it was having anomalies on the print. So it basically adds supports and go through the model. And that wasn't very good, because obviously it would mess up the model. And so I didn't really want that to happen. So we'll definitely have to reprint that model on this thing and see how it goes. Just kind of, you know, match up with the old nostalgia of the print we did on the Phrozen Sonic Mighty 4K, and you know, kind of go from there. So we'll have to see. But are you going to have a hangout after this? Maybe, but I will probably have to go and walk the puppers, and then yeah, maybe we'll do a chat on live stream and kind of go from there. Yeah, so this little guy was made by ZMI Labs on TikTok, and he made a mini like Funko Pop version of me. He also made one with a bow staff, which he's up there. I'm not going to grab him because I'm going to knock down a bunch of stuff. But essentially, it was a joke between me and another TikToker, and then Joel Telling and Uncle Jesse. And essentially, I was versus Uncle Jesse. Joel Telling was versus this other TikToker that, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. And so I had a good laugh out of it. I loved it. And so I asked them for the models, and obviously I tipped them for it. I didn't just take the models and run. But one of the things I noticed when I decided to finally start printing is I did a little video a while back about, now I can't find it, but using baby oil. So essentially, what I did is I sanded down this print and it looked real rough. Well, baby oil basically, when you rub it on a raw print, it brings back its luster. So it looks like it's been printed perfectly fine. Well, I forgot to remove the baby oil from that and I started painting. So as you can see, like some of the paint has rubbed off like on the shoulders of the shirt and stuff. But I'm like, hey, it's still pretty good for my first time touching a paintbrush and actually painting a figurine of some way, shape, or form. So I am absolutely happy with it, even though it's kind of a disaster, but not really. So I'll take it. That's a win for me. That's probably the best painting I will ever do in my entire life. So, but yeah, other than that, not too much else. Like I said, if you guys are interested in this machine, I will provide a link down below on this video. And I don't. Well, I guess I can provide an affiliate link if you guys really want me to. I usually don't. Like most of my affiliate stuff is through Amazon, and that's just more or less because I buy a bunch of crap from Amazon. Um, Case in point, buying things like this, like an air quality tester. That's basically what I use that for, just to provide some more fun content and things that I don't need. But yeah, I'll link some stuff down in the description here for you guys to check out, and I will keep you guys updated with the progress of the print. And if it came out or if it failed, we'll have to see, and kind of go from there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed the disaster of the stream, and yeah, I'll catch you guys all next time. Until next time, happy printing.